Hey, hey. So, I've been thinking about this one topic for a little bit and haven't been able to get it on video. So, and it's not a new topic, and it's nothing revolutionary, but it's the idea of having like a game plan or a plan of attack when you're competing, right? Some, not everybody's a competitor, so obviously it wouldn't apply to everybody, but I think just in general, right? It could be applied to more things than just a jiu-jitsu competition, right? So, you know, I watched some of our teammates compete over in Japan, and they had mixed results, right? One of our teammates did really well, right? I think he took gold in his weight, and I think he took silver in the absolute for his belt. The other two ladies I competed, they didn't do as well, but it's not through lack of effort, preparation, or trying, right? I think they did the best they could with what they had. But the one thing to me that kind of stood out a little bit was I saw that, in their matches, there were parts where they were kind of stuck, or maybe some indecision about what they were trying to do and how they were trying to do it, right? One of the things that I talk to Cart a lot about is the idea of understanding when you're in a dominant position, right? The more mat time you get, the more you recognize what little controls you need. Like when I rode Kawhi, dude just locks me up, and like he's not even breaking a sweat, and he knows he's in a good position, right? He knows he practices it, he runs through it, he studies it, he knows what he's trying to do. And I think sometimes I'm his guinea pig because he knows I'm not super athletic and I don't go really hard, and I'm kind of older, so he'll try different things on me that he's working on. And I can appreciate that because he's working on the latest techniques, right? The meta, so to speak, and I get to have somebody applying it to me, so I can see how it feels safely, try to figure out if there's a way to defend it and what I would do if placed there, right? So I do appreciate that. But back to the idea of a game plan, right? So with me, it's obvious my game plan, right? I don't know nothing about I don't know nothing about takedowns, but takedowns take a lot of energy and effort, and I don't have that gas, right? So I'm a guard puller, right? I don't wait to hope that the other person tries to pull guard and then I clear it and I somehow get on top, right? My goal is get grips from the start. I have a couple of different grips that I look for. If I get any of them, boom, I'm on the ground, right? Get into my preferred guard, start to work the Kazushi, right? Looking for off balances. I'm rarely gonna try to attack from guard. My goal is to sweep you and get on top, right? So that's the comp style, right? If it was like a submission only, okay, then it's different. But when it's points based, I've seen it happen so many times. Guys get a one advantage and try to stall. I mean, the first year I went, the guy was trying to stall from like 4 minutes out. He had one advantage on me. I was like, wow, that's kind of all right. Fortunately for me, I was able to overcome that one advantage. But I think an advantage, stalling from that far out, that's kind of a risky approach to me, right? I much rather, like, it's different if you got like 3, 4, 5 points up on me and then you try to stall it. I don't agree with that approach. I know a lot of people don't like it, but it's a strategy, right? When you're competing, it doesn't say your gold medal doesn't say, oh, he won all by decisions or he won all by points. It just says gold medal. So the goal is to win, right? So you do what it takes to win the match, right? So anyway, again, back to the game plan. So I'm gonna pull guard, I'm going to look for Kazushi, I'm going to sweep, I'm going to get on top, I'm going to look for a dominant position to control. If submission shows itself, I'll attack it. If not, continue to work the control on the top, right? So if you go into your match and you're uncertain about what you want to do and you want to try to rely on what the opponent gives you, it's okay if you have answers to a lot of things, right? I know that at black belt, yeah, you got answers for a lot of things, right? Even at brown belt, I don't, but at brown belt, people can do that, right? They have the ability to to have answers for like everything, right? This guard, that guard, this submission, bottom, top, side, whatever. But if you're new in the journey, you don't have as many answers, right? So if the person has been practicing a technique that you're not familiar with, and it gets you there, and you're like, oh shoot, he's got me in spider guard, now what? We don't practice spider guard escape, you're kind of stuck, right? So again, the mindset that I always have, the best defense is to not be there in the first place. Kind of like one of my when Chris would always say, what's the best defense? Well, don't get into it. It's kind of like, oh, you're being a wise guy. Well, I mean, some ways it kind of is, but that's the reality of it, right? The best way to not have to get out of something is to not get into it in the first place, right? So if your strengths are, you know, top side control, then you don't want to play bottom. You're going to fight as hard as you can to not get on bottom. This common sense, right? So part of your game plan should be, I'm going to be on top, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to stay on top. So obviously you're not going to be a guard puller, because pulling guard immediately puts you on bottom, right? If you're a guard player, you need to make sure that you are in a position to pull guard. You can't let the person in front of you get guard before you do. If they do, and you're not a good passer, okay, now you're going to have a hard time, right? I do think it's important that you have both, right? But I understand, you know, early in your journey, you're not going to have strong positions and techniques from everywhere. You're just not. It's not the reality, right? So again, if you're a guard puller, position yourself accordingly. If you get pulled, if they pull guard, make sure that you have at least one solid position that you know how to pass from and how to get there, right? It's great if you know how to do the pass, but if you can't enter the pass, it doesn't help you, right? If I'm looking for a toreando, but I don't know how to position my body, my legs, my arms, then it doesn't help me. My opponent locks me up, locks up my sleeve, I can't get free. I'm never gonna get the toreando. So I need to understand, how far away do I stand? Where do I place my hands? Where are my legs? Where am I driving pressure, right? All of that kind of stuff is important to having a successful pass. So you need to work that, right? You can't just say, oh, here's how you finish it, or here's how I do it. Well, how do you get there, right? So you got to kind of work some of those things. So the bottom line, think about how you're going to attack it, right? Obviously, it's not going to go exactly as you want, but you need to try to channel or funnel your opponent into your areas of strength and keep them away from your areas of weakness. Something to think about. All right, guys. Us.